Morning guys, I thought it was about time that I done my own walkthrough and showed you guys the 76 that you see in all my videos. So yeah, I'll start with what car it is. It's a 2016 76 Series Landcruiser. So it's got the 4.5 litre V8 single turbo engine in it and 5-speed gearbox, part-time 4-wheel drive, still got freewheeling hubs in the front. So you have to get out and lock your hubs in each time. So we went to this vehicle from a Hilux, and we just wanted to basically have a more simpler, robust vehicle, I suppose you could say. Yeah, just wanted something a bit simpler. We didn't want all the fancy stuff, traction control and all that sort of stuff. So this one comes with, it's a GXL, so it comes with the twin factory diff locks. So that's another reason why we chose the GXL and this model, because you can get straight away factory diff locks, so that's one less expense when you're decking out your car, because it gets quite expensive when we've done all this work to it to be able to come out to places like this. So this morning we're out here on the bridle track just out of Bathurst. Just had a camp for a weekend, so I'll have another video on that as well if you haven't seen that, or I don't know which video is going to come first, so yeah, make sure you check that one out. So on the front of this vehicle we've got an ARB big tube bar, and we've got some Steedy lights, the Type X Pros. These lights are pretty good value for money, so I'm pretty happy with them. We've also got the Oricom aerial mounted up on the bull bar here. So this aerial is a 3 dBi, and you can unscrew this piece off the top here and put an extension on there, and it makes it a 6.5 dBi. So I've got that piece sitting in the car. If I ever need it, it's always in there, so I'll show you where that is a bit later on. So I'm running the carbon 12,000 pound winch on the front, and I'm running a factor 55 flat link just on the front here. Also underneath here got the ARB recovery point, rated recovery point. So wheels and tyres, I'm running the ROH octagon rim, which is a 16x8. They're a load rated rim as well. And I'm running the BF Goodrich mud terrains in 285 75 16. So that old school, that equates to nearly a 33, I think. So it works quite well on this vehicle. So as you can see here, there's the freewheeling hubs locked in like they should be. Now suspension wise on this, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Not really finished with it yet. It was just some suspension I got the springs second hand, shocks brand new, just to quickly set it up while I was setting the car up, and then sort of I'd like to redo the suspension again. So I've got in the front Lovell springs, Lovell shocks. In the rear I have Tough Dog springs, and I think they're about a 500 kilo rating, which is probably a bit heavy for me. That's why this thing doesn't flex much. And Lovell springs in the back. You've probably also seen another video, I'm running now the Superior high clearance plates on the bottom of the springs to give me a little bit more clearance under that spring pack, because it's quite a massive spring pack. Okay, the back diff on these. So anyone that doesn't know, the 70 series come out with a narrower track on the back by about 100mm. So when I bought the vehicle, I didn't think it was really going to matter. I thought, what's that do? Nothing. Like, didn't phase me. So a few trips, about a year on, 18 months on, especially towing the camper, I was really noticing a few issues with the handling of the car. So I decided to put in the multi-drive True Tracker kit. So basically they cut your stub axles off, and there's another spacer that bolts on, and that increases your wheel track both sides. So I'm still running standard Toyota bearings, standard Toyota brake discs, all that stuff still standard, everything's standard Toyota except for the axles. Now obviously it has a longer axle and the housing's going to be different. So I also didn't realize either that the 76 series comes with a weaker housing than say the 79 ute. So before I could even do that, I had to put in a 79 series housing. So I was lucky I picked up one of those fairly cheap, and I was able to get that put in at the same time. So I've already touched on the high clearance plates I've got under the back. Yeah, so that's about it for the back. Now personally I feel the wheel track, since I had the wheel track done, might not sound like much, and a lot of people go, oh, it's not worth it, but for me it was definitely worth it. It handles so much better, so it's a different car to drive now. In the back here I'm still running the standard tank, standard fuel tank, so it's 130 litres standard. So yeah, it's I find it good enough. We crossed the desert last year. I took 2 jerry cans of fuel and I put one in, and I think I could have just scraped through without it. So, but it's always good to have extra fuel anyhow. But yeah, the 130 litre tank is fine for now. So I'm not sure if I'll worry about a long range tank, because obviously that's going to be more weight when it's full, and this thing's sitting fairly close to GVM as it is. So yeah, I'll have to keep my eye on that. So I've had to add on this extra rubber here for the widened wheel track. So yeah, I'm hoping to get some new flares. So Superior Engineering are doing a wider flare now for the back of the 76 to compensate for people who do their wheel track. So I'm looking at getting some of those flares and just tidy this up, make it look a bit better. Yeah, I might paint them with some Raptor coat or something like that, because they do copper hiding on the inside from the rocks. So this is under the bonnet. Under here I have a little screen to keep the stuff out of the intercooler. I also have second fuel filter, an auxiliary fuse block here for all the extras I'm running. Over this side I'm running this is where my second battery is. So at the moment it's just a calcium 95 amp hour battery, and the Red Arc DC charger is just above my glove box in behind the firewall here, so it's fairly close to, in proximity to this battery. Also running the HPD catch can in the front here. I was quite surprised how much oil this thing collects. It just, yeah, I can't believe it. There's a lot of oil you can stop going into your intake if you just put a simple catch can on. Over the back here I've got my diff breathers nice and high here. As far as snorkels goes, I'm running the Safari RMAX snorkel. So they come with a snorkel. It's not actually called a snorkel, it's called an elevated air intake. So the little snorkel they come with has lots of joins, and it's not really watertight, so I fitted this pretty much straight away. So this is a Safari RMAX snorkel. I'm also running a 3-inch redback exhaust. Up on top of the wagon I'm running the Pioneer platform, so full length of the roof, a lot of space up here, and gives me the option to run a few different things up here. So on the front I'm running a 110 watt solar panel which runs through the Red Arc, and as soon as the ignition's off this thing will charge my second battery. So as we sit here it's charging now. So it's just a cheap eBay solar panel. I think about 120 bucks or something like that. So directly behind the solar panel I'm running 4 Max Tracks stacked up here, nice and neat, out of the way, black, so they're not really noticeable. So, and I've still got enough room in the back here. I can put a couple of swags. We put the double swag on, hangs over the back a little bit, but you can put 2 singles side by side. Still plenty of room left. So on the side here I'm running a shovel, and I've got the kick-ass ensuite tent. This is probably a This is one of the latest additions. This tent's pretty good, pretty handy actually. So the other side, I'm running the Foxwing awning. So it's an older awning. We've had it a fair few years now. It was on our Hilux, transferred it to this car. They're a pretty good awning. They're not freestanding or anything like that, but it's good enough for us. Okay, so in the driver's seat, I have a DDS scan gauge just tucked up here. I've got my air compressor switch here and some driving light switches there. iDrive tucked in neatly there. Also the Red Arc Tow Pro electric brake controller. Got my phone on a quad lock holder, which also charges it. It's plugged in over there. Standard stereo at the moment. I've got a dash cam up there. Not really sure what one it is. So down here, I have a dual, don't know if you can see that, I'll block the sun a bit, dual voltmeter. Tells me the voltage of both batteries. As you can see, the second one now sitting on 13.1, so it's probably charging from the solar panel as we speak. Just got a handheld radio here ready to go. In the glove box I have a PLB. If we go for a walk or anything like that, we just grab this, take it with us. We've always got this. We're camping a lot where there's no phone service, so this is handy to have in case of an emergency. It's also registered in my name, so when they come they know who they're coming to get. So just up under here is my Red Arc DC-DC charger, so I'll see if I can get a shot of that. But that's where it is, out of harm's way, nice and cool. So in the middle here, got a aftermarket center console. It's much better. This is the proper height to rest your arm on, not like the factory one. We've actually got somewhere to put a couple of drinks as well, so this is pretty handy. Up the top here, we've got an Outback roof console. I have a Uniden C UHF radio. This thing also has this thing here, pops down, pretty nifty. Put all like maps and stuff like that in there, brochures, things like that. Now I talked about the aerial earlier. That's where the extension for the aerial is there. So I've always got it with me. I'm not going to lose it in the garage. That's where the ARB air compressor is. And I have an outlet this side and an outlet on the passenger side as well. Into the back. Now bear in mind we're away this weekend, that's why it's full. But we just how we travel anyhow. So it's normally that's my clothes bag on this side, camera gear bag on top, Natasha's clothes bag on the other side, and her toiletry bag on top of that. Down there we have a cooler bag. On the back of one seat we have an MSA organizer. Put all our bits and pieces in. And I've taken the headrests off, and we have one of these I don't know what they're called, they're like an organizer thing from Drifter. So it's just on a bit of sail, I just screwed a bit of sail track to the cargo barrier and it's hanging. It's all got our raincoats, some hats, toilet paper and stuff is all handy on the other side. Also have my fire extinguisher here and ready to go if I need it. So I've already needed it once and wasn't for my car, thankfully. So on the other side over there I have a snake bite kit, so that is very handy to get at as well, like right there, because hopefully the day will never come that I have to use it, but the last thing you want to do is be digging around wondering where your snake bite kit is. And if you don't have one, I suggest you buy one. They're not very expensive. You can get them off eBay pretty cheap. They sell them at most shows anyhow. So bit of a mess here as well, but this is sort of my charging station. So I got a GoPro's charging up there, camera batteries, and my drone batteries charging there. The back of the car, I'm running a Kmart rear bar with double jerry can on this side. We run, like just for what we're doing, we're running 2 water cans. Yeah, I can swap them out and have 2 fuel there if I want, whatever. So full size spare on this side, on a ROH octagon rim as well, so I have a full set of 5 correct wheels. And I'm running the Drifter rubbish bag. It's a pretty good rubbish bag. You can pull it's got a PVC liner. You can pull it out. It's got handles on it. Take it to the bin, empty your stuff out, wash it out. This thing is pretty good, and I've been putting it through its paces. Just get in and open it up. The only thing with a double wheel carrier like this, before you can open any doors, you got to open both swingaways. Can be a bit annoying. So in the back here we're running the Drifter drawers with they come with a table, or you can use that as a bench. And we're running the Clearview drop down fridge slide. This thing is good. Look at that. That's where you can see it. Good stuff. So with our drawers, this side's our kitchen drawer, or as Natasha likes to call it, her drawer. So in here we have this stays like this when we go home. So this car's ready to go. So we've got like tea, coffee, plates, cutlery, jet boil, Uniflame cook set. Yeah. If you want a more detailed video on what I have in these drawers, let me know and I'll just do a video dedicated to what I keep in the back of this car. This one, I've got my tools, some recovery gear. I've got my hitch. I normally have that in the back, but I take it out around home. That's the Factor 55 recovery hitch. Now this new stuff's made really nice and smooth, especially for soft shackles, so that's what you want. You got a little bit of recovery, not much. I've got that in another bag there. I've just got some like multimeter and a few tools, bits and pieces. So this side I've got a tomahawk, some more tools and some spray cans and stuff. Like I said, if you want to know more about what's in these drawers, I can do a full layout of what's in here. Same with my sides. I've got a fair bit of stuff tucked in these sides. This side has spare gas canisters and some fuel filters and different things I need might need for the car. So just up top here, I've made myself a little shelf to go across the top of the fridge, and it's just mounted off the cargo barrier and off that bracket there where the cargo barrier mounts as well. So up here we keep like some foam mats. Sometimes we put them under the swag, sometimes we have a shower on them. Yeah, bit of everything. And then normally up top there we'll go the crash pad ground sheet and our collapsible washing up tub and our collapsible drainer. So also up here is my Indeflate, so I keep the Indeflate up there as well. And now in this side up the back is a first aid kit, and then normally our Helinox chairs sit in front of this of the first aid kit, and they're all held in with these straps so they can't fall out. Got a small canvas bucket here, and in that orange bag is the base for the Helinox chairs for using them in sand or soft ground, which we haven't really used yet. In the sides here I'm running the solar screen just to keep the heat out of the car, and also like keeps the sun out, stop things fading. People can't see what you have in the back of the car, stuff like that. So just down here I have a bit of a power bank, so I got a switch there to turn it on, got a voltmeter, we've got 2 Siga sockets and 2 USBs. And this little switch here is for my LED strip light, which is across the bottom of that rack there. So might not seem pretty bright, but at night it's bright enough to see what you need to get out of the back of the car. Tucked in over the back is our stove, our Coleman fold and go stove. It's a pretty handy stove. I've had that for a very long time. And carry just a small bucket here, a few bits and bobs in it, and I have my recovery gear in here now, just thrown in that bag, just sits there. And this is our camp box, which has our food in it for when we travel. And on top of the drawers I just have some of this rubber matting. So there you have it, that's my 76 series. Any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching.